taking his time. Yes, I've said go live many times.
It's live. It's live.
Is it live? There we're live. Oh, 14 seconds and we've been live. Good morning. Welcome. Happy Friday to you. Everyone out there in whatever mode that you're watching or listening us. If we haven't met, I'm Kat Troulinos with Cat's Home Chat, and super excited doing a live episode today with a good friend, a creative genius, which y'all know I love to interview creative geniuses, Lauren Huntley. We're going to go to you in just a second, Lauren. Let me let folks, if you're scrolling, stop. If you're single, if you're widowed, if you're divorced, if you've done online dating, which many have, and Lauren is an expert on online dating, well, especially after she read my book, Miracles Online. But we're going to go over some key points, and this information is going to be a GPS, or some people call it a Bible, to online dating. So let me just tell you that love wants you as much as you want love. And in this next 30 to 45 minutes, we hope to share some nuggets with you that is going to open up the doors to you finding your miracle online. Share this, watch it later. We're also on YouTube, LinkedIn, Instagram. We're all over the place. But again, welcome, Lauren.
Hello,
Can we get a clapping there, Jeff? Welcome, Lauren. Let me just bring in really quick before we start the discussion, because I want this to be really interactive and informative to all those listening and watching. So I'm going to bring my Miracle Online, 25 years last November, Mr. Jeffrey Spike Wong.
Hey,
welcome, Jeff.
Good morning, everyone.
Hey, I love that background, babe.
Yeah, I know. I was like, I need one.
I know, I do too. But
here, hold on.
There we go. Here, I've got my deck. Welcome, Jeff. He's also our proctor. So anything, questions that are happen to pop up on the stream, and also the link for the book, if you'd like, Jeff will be popping that in. But we're just going to go ahead and dive in. And the first question I'm going to ask you, Lauren, is reading the book, what would you say was your biggest kind of aha or takeaway moment?
I think the most important thing that really kind of stopped me and made me really pay attention in the book is, anyone could go and do online dating. Anyone could do a profile, do a picture. But I think the most important thing that you really touched on was really sitting back and asking yourself who you truly are, what you're truly wanting from a relationship, and actually sitting down and writing it out, writing what your negotiables are, what your non-negotiables are, what you truly want. Not just because you want to date and you don't want to be lonely anymore, but you really want to find that person and what you're really truly looking for, and not just, like I said, throwing a profile together.
Absolutely. Or, we talked about it pre-show, what you think other people are doing. Oh, well, then I should do that too. Correct. And it really takes a minute, of introspection, but it's so worth it, guys and gals. It's so worth it to sit, take time by yourself and go, Lauren mentioned negotiables and non-negotiables. It's under the chapter, writing the perfect profile, which is, to me, one of the most important informational segments. So negotiable or non-negotiables are what you absolutely must have. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. The individual that you're looking for in a serious committed relationship needs to possess these qualities, demographics, et cetera, and so forth. And that's different for everybody. For me, just to touch on a couple, My non-negotiable was that the individual that I plan to spend the rest of my life with needed to be okay with me being a single mom and with the children that I had at the time. They needed to be physically aware of taking care of their body and health conscious.
Yeah.
And most importantly, they needed to be introspective and be working on themselves. Socrates has a quote: "The life unexamined is a life not worth living." And I needed someone who was in the habit and had a spiritual hunger and quest to be examining this human dynamic and relationships and be super aware of that.
Yeah.
So that was key for me. Oddly enough, I had learned trial and error, because I'm thinking, well, I need someone who has a lot of money.
Yeah.
That was a non-negotiable. So after dating some well-off guys, I was like, oh, but, and I won't talk about, what they didn't have, but, part of which my analytical side said, you know what, a lot of these guys who have a lot of money are married to their jobs and they're workaholics. Yes. And I knew me enough, Lauren, to know I need attention. Oh, yeah. That's what I require in a relationship, is that I'm priority. I'm number one priority.
And I think you and I too are attracted to that drive, because you and I are both very independent and business owners. But, yes, like you said, you want someone who might have that same drive, but also give us attention.
Yes. And that's what I saw in Jeff, that he had a drive. He maybe wasn't in the place, I was financially way above where he was, number one being, a decade plus ahead of him.
Yeah.
But just in life. But that financial situation paled in comparison to who he was as a person. And was I looking for someone younger than me? No, I'd always dated people older than me. But because I knew myself and I knew what was important, it opened the doors for our connection. Yes. Jeff, I'm going to have you take the floor. I might hear something new. Who knows? And talk about what, your take on the negotiables and non-negotiables.
Well, again, I think number one is you have to look at, are you ready for it? That's the key. Are you ready for the relationship? If you're still going through doing the same song and dance and then finding yourself with a heartbreak, you have to change that system and that whatever process that you were following. And I recognized that as I got into it. I started dating not only online, but personal ads in the mid 90s, just because I was so busy working 3 jobs and playing in a band.
Yep. We can relate to that. Yep.
Yeah. So I kissed a lot of frogs in just like everybody says, you have to be ready for it. And it's not about looking for it, but it's what are you looking within yourself? What are you bringing to the table? I think that's the biggest key for everybody to take away on dating, is that number one is how well are you preparing yourself for a relationship? And that's the key.
Yes. How well are you preparing yourself for a relationship?
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. Because, we don't get what we want. We get what we are.
Yeah.
At the level of vibration that we are vibrating, that is what we will attract. So if you're not getting what you want, and this is in love and in all areas of your life, then you need to step back and raise your level of vibration and be the person that you're looking for. Be those characteristics that you're looking for. Then, your vibe will find your tribe. You heard that saying?
Yep.
That's that magnetic connection that will happen. And I relate to that because, I was a single mom for 12 years and I was not looking and not ready. My focus was raising 3 kids and having a career to be able to sustain and purchase a home and take care of everything financially. And I made a decision. I did not want to be one of those single moms that had a different guy or daddy in and out of the house constantly. So I was very protective of that domain and situation, and mentally I was not allowing, as Jeff talks about, I wasn't ready. I wasn't inviting it in. When I did make that decision, was when the universe sent me an email from matchmaker.com with a free trial. And I was like, oh, what's this about?
Yeah.
This is interesting. Huh. And the rest is history in terms of that. I actually, and this is in the book, I actually started writing this book while I was researching for the book. I was on something like 4 or 5 sites because my analytical mind was like, this is very efficient.
Oh yeah.
I can weed out, and we're talking 25 years ago, guys. So, I was on cutting edge new thinking back then, because people were like, what? Online dating? What? You met your husband on online dating 25 years ago? Yes, I did. Pioneer right here, right there.
When you talked about in your book also is, I remember a long time ago back home, with clients, I would ask them how, they met, and they'd kind of be hesitant to say they met online. It was like a secret thing back in the day that people were afraid to talk about. But
yes,
with women like us, we're very independent and business owners. Sometimes that was our only option. And I think, like you said, it's really become less of an embarrassing thing for people.
Absolutely. It's normal now. Now we just need to educate people on how to do it better. And I want to get into some of your brief things not to do through firsthand today, in 2024. Let's go ahead and play this little snippet from an interview I did with Now Media. Jeff, not only my Ed McMahon co-host, but my tech support was kind enough to put this together. So it's just, I don't know, how long is it, Jeff? Like a minute?
It's long as until it runs out.
Okay.
Well, you got to start over.
Oh, I got to start over. Okay. Let's start it over. Okay.
Oh, that's cute.
Really
He's good.
Need this book, single mothers navigating our way through and have not had good luck online and wondering where to go, where to find someone, not wanting to go to a bar to meet a person.
Yeah.
So I think it's really,
it's going to break up a little here.
Love to get a little glimpse into the extraordinary inspired your book. And
so much of what you just said, Rachel, was, of course, I believe that divine right order and divine angels are working all the time. There's no mistake why I received that email, but I was much like the things that you mentioned, and it's outlined throughout the book. I'd had the friends setting me up, back in the, going to the happy hours, the speed dating, you name it, trying to find a true connection. I would say once I found out that phenomenon, and just to give you a little background, I was, as a single mom, I was in corporate America, had a very, demanding career in telecommunications at the time. So it really, being kind of a student of efficiency and time, I was like, this is very efficient. I can go through profiles and get rid of the things that are deal breakers, or what I call in the book, in creating your profile, the negotiables and the non-negotiables.
I know a place where we can go and be alone.
I'm obsessed with that picture of you.
Me too.
It's so pretty.
Okay, how do I make us all go back up here? Oh, I guess I removed this. Okay, there we go. Okay. So yeah, kind of a recap on that. We touched about, some of the reasons which you don't like. I already done the bar scene and the speed dating and the hookups and all of that. And I guess what was so awe-inspiring for me, I was like a, kid in a candy store. Like I said, I was on 5 services researching at the time, doing research for the book on the do's and the don'ts, basically how this has culminated into, you called it a Bible. I like that. Or a GPS, a real, time saver, an eye opener to, ladies and gentlemen who, are just jumping into the online and doing what they think they should do, or doing what everybody else is doing, which may not be particularly the best way to present yourself.
Yes.
I have a gal that was kind of, had the same feedback as you. And she's like, oh my God, I immediately started fixing my profile. She had, because everybody else, she had, baboom, the girls out, and these overly sexualized photos, because that's what she saw other people doing. And, my dad, may he rest in peace, when I was single, I remember him saying, well, you need to join a country club or play tennis or this and that, because where you put your fishing hook is what you're going to get. And if you put it in the toilet, you're going to get a turn. That could be equated to, how you put yourself out there, right? In to today for online dating. And I think you did show us all the tabs in your book.
Oh, I mean, as soon as I opened your book, like I was like dead serious with this thing. Like I have like sticky notes. I have like things like notes written in here. I have like highlighters. I have everything. And
it's a short book, guys. It's a quick read. It's less than 80 pages, but I think it's chock full of really the nitty gritty of how.
But I think I read it like 4 times because I wanted to make sure like I understood. Like I was excited. Like as soon as I started opening the book, I was excited. Like, oh crap! What? How bad is my profile? That was like my thing. I was like, I need to go. Like you had talked about, like getting the negative stuff, whatever past you have, whatever ex-boyfriend you have, I talk about just being positive. Don't be negative. Don't go in like, oh, I hate dating, but I'm going to try this again.
Or tell what you're not looking for. I'm not looking for this. I'm not looking for that. I mean, even your mind doesn't work when you program your mind. It doesn't work in not. You say not, and the brain hears the negative thing. That's it. Oh, yeah. So you have to say, what you're looking for, not what you're not looking for. That's a really good point.
Exactly. And the pictures. I mean, I saw a video on this the other day. Your pictures are important. Like you said, if you're going to be half naked in these pictures, that's who you're going to perceive yourself as to being, as this loosey-goosey kind of, don't really have to me as a woman, I would think you don't really have a lot of self-confidence. And the filters, stop with the filters. Like,
oh gosh,
guys, you get upset with guys get upset with girls. You show up, you're like, you look nothing like your photo. Cause from my experience, men like to use photos from 20 years ago.
They do. Back 25 years ago, that's funny you say that, Lauren, they didn't have filters, but I can tell you, I went on a couple, when I was doing my research, I did coffee dates. I had like 10 coffee dates one week, really, it was just all research. Yeah. And you're like, you look nothing like your picture. They didn't have the filters. They just took outdated pictures that looked nothing like them.
And it was grainy, so they looked younger.
That was the filter of the day. The grainy, flip phone picture or something. Yes. I don't even know if they had camera on flip phone then. The brownie camera.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's a trip. So that was helpful for you.
Oh yeah, definitely. And just having humor. Don't be so serious. Like, I want this, and this, like a list, like put in a joke somewhere in there. Like I was telling you earlier, I said, I met this gentleman, and after a couple hours ago, I was like, you are not what I expected. And I was thinking, I had real pictures up there. I have flaming red hair. Like I can't be boring. Right. And I had some interest, but what was I missing that made him think maybe I was like not as exciting as I am, or like as
she's
goofy.
Exciting, guys.
Right? like maybe because I'm more of a jokester and more goofy. So There's something that I was missing that you had talked about, like make sure you show your true self in this book. And
and the word is your authentic self.
Authentic self, correct.
Jeff, I want you to think about that when I come to you in a minute, because I don't know if I showed my authentic self or not. And that lends itself to you being a little bit vulnerable, not TMI, but a little bit vulnerable into who you are. So funny story, and I'm going to let you comment on it, Jeff. And I wished I had my bio, but I don't. It's because we don't even probably have the same computer. We couldn't find the emails and I remember certain lines like, you make me feel squishy. That's a common thing. It's like, oh my God, I make him feel squishy. But one of the things in my profile was that when I find the one, there's a rock under my bed engraved that says, "You're mine." Was it "You're mine"? I'm yours.
Yes,
No, I'm yours. Complete surrender. It says, it's engraved, "I'm yours." And to this day we laugh because, and I have since, I think he still has the same rock that says, "I'm yours." Keep it in the bathroom when he brushes his teeth. But he thought, Lauren, he imagined that there was this boulder underneath my bed. Right, Jeff?
Just in case the date doesn't go right.
Just in case the date didn't go right. Well, what's he doing in my bedroom anyway on the date? Anyway. Okay, Jeff, your shout.
I would say that the most incredible thing was definitely your bio. The fact that I've combed through hundreds, if not 1,000 or more, of everybody who wants to walk on the beach, romantic dinner, hold hands, sunset watching. It just wasn't creative. It wasn't genuine. It came across as I just wanted something that was picturesque, that was somewhat fed to me by the idealism of
cookie cutter idealism. Yeah.
Excuse me. But your profile was extensive, written about self, getting ready on a journey of your life, and now you're prepared to find the true love to share the rest of your life with. And it was written so eloquently that it moved me so much that I had to write you back in an email. It reminds you that I looked at her. She had black and white picture, first and foremost. She was very pretty, but she was much older than I was. And I was also just...
By the way, most people think we're the same age, honey. So even though you're not silver yet.
Okay. Well, so my take was that this beautiful soul has basically let the world know how she has fared through life, and now she's ready to give her heart and her all to this new chapter with this new person, whoever it may be. And it was so nicely put, so well put, that I had to write back and says, "Listen, whatever happened to you in your life, I wish you the best because you deserve it." And that actually opened up to this, like, okay, who are you then? And I'm like, okay, well, I'm this and that. And then once we decided that we're going to have a conversation on the phone, that's when it really clicked. We talked about 6 hours the first time, and then proceeded to do 6 hours every evening for the next 6 days.
And also let me comment. I saw his picture. It was a promo picture for a band he was in. He had this beautiful, thick, black, hair, looked very Native American, and he's wearing like a muscle shirt, and looking very Asian. I didn't even know if he had an accent. I asked him, "Do you have an accent?" I had no idea. Zero accent. But I was not looking. I'd always dated the limited dating that I did. I was always attracted to men who were older, particularly for the maturity level. But boy, was I proven wrong that you can be, a decade plus younger and be more mature than someone older than you, in so many ways. So, but yeah, we had in-depth conversations. I mean, we had read the same books, listened to the same AM talk shows, just the core foundation of who we are, who we were, just clicked in so many ways,
I will
with
bring up. I will
Go
say
ahead.
this too. That is the key factor is not about age. It's really
Oh no.
about who you are and are you ready to present yourself at the most genuine, honest way. And if you can find that, chances are that a relationship with someone who's able to offer that is going to be successful. It's the ones that always can't get past the second layer of the surface. They're the ones that have their hearts closed
Yeah.
because of traumas or history or whatever it may be for that individual. If they can't unearth that and open their heart up and let that out, you're always going to be fighting. Why are we not talking? Why are
Yeah.
we not getting along? And then it goes back into the pool again and saying, I can't believe I wasted 2 years of my life on this.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Well, and I
go
was
ahead.
just going to say, Kat, sorry to interrupt.
No.
Again, going back to your book, with you knowing your authentic self and with you loving yourself and really knowing what you want, and really taking the time to put that out there, you found a beautiful soul that recognized that and appreciates that. And he came along and he saw that, and you attracted the right person. You took the time and you attracted that beautiful person that would love and appreciate what you put out there, instead of these guys randomly scrolling like, I don't want to read your bio. I want to read it. You attracted that beautiful person that your heart wanted and needed because you took the time to show
Yes.
who you are.
And so can you out there. And I want on that's such a good point, Lauren, and thank you for that. I want to say to folks that, I know there's many out there who, they're not looking for their miracle online. They're not looking for a relationship to get married, or, whatever, love looks like for you. Don't throw the baby out with the bathwater, as I call it, because, whether you're male or female, as long as you're authentic, like, at this stage in my life, I really just want a companion. I want someone to travel with. I want someone to, don't do the walks on the beach, but I want someone to go to dinner with, maybe go to some concerts, or the symphony. I like the symphony. Be honest with that, because again, no matter what it looks like, whether it's true love, which is what I was looking for, which is what Jeff was looking for, it could be what I just described. And put yourself out there, because this medium of online dating, online connection, I'm going to call it, excuse me, we were demographically, he was an hour away. He was in Burbank, LA. I was in Chino Hills, and so like, if he had not said, fine, I'll move there, or, really 30 days later, we got married. So if he was not so strong, which that was another element, I knew from my self-discovery and self-healing that I needed someone strong, because I had to be strong as a single mom, as a recovering victim of, childhood trauma. I knew I had to be strong, and I knew that I needed someone stronger than me. And that was really kind of signs that he showed me early on, that he could make decisions and he was strong where he needed to be strong. But to this day, 25 years, it's a dance. He knows when to go, it's her time to be strong. We'll let this one go. Yes, you do. Or I need to be strong. It's that we're definitely the yin and the yang, the yin and the yang, and it's a dance. And it works really well. But I knew that because I knew that from self-discovery and self-actualization journey, that I needed that. So the beauty of that is, whatever dynamic you have in your personality, it's a natural filter. If you're bubbly and you love to, socialize and do things, and you're being hooked up with someone who isn't, or they're not attracted to you, that's a great filter, because they don't need to be attracted to you. It's the same with weak men. Now, sometimes weak men would want to prey on a strong woman, but you can identify those pretty quick. But for the most part, weak men were, you know, somewhat repelled by
Yeah.
me because they felt their masculinity would be challenged.
Yep,
And
exactly.
here was one, his masculinity wasn't challenged whatsoever.
He's a rock star. He's fun. He got this.
But he's got a very deep, sensitive heart. He comes off as being, to people who don't know him, very strong and sometimes gruff, but he's the most giving, loving, you know, soul that I know. Right, Bear?
I would hope so. I work very hard for it, you know.
Yes.
And I think seeing you too, you guys, it gives us hope too and faith that there is something out there. Not everyone's out to get in your bed or in your pants. And there really are truly men and women out there who really want that love and appreciate it. And just take your time. Like I said, you know, read this book. Take your time. It's like they used to say back in the day with women, write down what you really want and look for in a partner and put it on your pillow. Put miracles online on your pillow. Like seriously.
I like it.
Put it,
I like it.
do the work in the book, read the book, do the work, answer the questionnaires, like put it under your pillow and dream it and hope for it. And I think it'll come to you, and there is hope. And don't be in such a rush because, you know, God didn't make us in one day. God didn't make this beautiful earth in one day. You know, take your time to really find and do the work in this book and find what you truly deserve and realize you deserve that and love yourself.
Love wants you as much as you want love. And that's such a good point, Lauren, because, you know, folks out there, whether male or female, if you find yourself that, you know, you're uncomfortable being alone, you need to fill that, you need to constantly have, you know, a date or someone there or someone in your life. You're really acting out of a deficit. You need to go back and do the work and go, why am I feeling so empty?
Yeah.
Why is there a hole in my heart? Why can't I be alone with myself? You know, and I keep telling a family member this as well. Work on yourself. Your partner will come. Do the things that you love. Do the things that light you up, you know. And the medium of online dating, for those who it's meant for, and some it's not. If you've got mental issues, I will just disclose that. But it is such a tool, like I mentioned earlier, whether you're looking for just companionship or you're looking for true love, why wouldn't you use this platform that can like 50x your opportunities?
Yeah.
You know, and that's what I thought back when we met 25 years ago. It's like, you know what? I go to my corporate job and then I go to the gym. And how many months or years do I go to the gym and wonder if he's single?
Yeah.
I wonder if maybe we'll work out next to it. And then so you do that for weeks. This happened to me once. We do that for things. He's kind of cute. You know, I wonder if he's single. Then you finally you're on the treadmill or whatever next to each other and you strike up a conversation and he's not even available.
Yeah.
Or he's a creep. You know, it's like, wow, that took a lot out of my life.
Yep.
Fantasizing, you know. And then of course we all know the bar scene thing.
Yeah.
You know, nothing ever for me happened.
Nothing good happens from a
I
bar.
was at a bar or when I was drinking, which is why I haven't drank in how many years, honey? We haven't drank?
Years.
That's
Almost a
good.
decade.
Never felt
That's
better.
my next goal.
Never felt better. You can do it. I can help you. Yeah, you can do it. It's been so liberating and free. Yeah. So any other, we've got time here. So any other points, Jeff, that you wanted to bring up? And then I'll go to Lauren.
I would just definitely encourage that everyone who's looking for true love to really read through Miracles Online. It is such of a good path and strategy for finding true love. And if you are only looking for fun, then you know, be very honest and go to websites that only offers that. You know, don't go in there to play other people. That is wrong. You know, the other aspect of it, I definitely say for both men and women, if you're serious about finding true love, first thing you don't do is have intercourse when you meet the girl or meet the man. Just don't do it. You need to develop something much deeper before it gets there. And
Absolutely.
that is something that is hard to fathom for, I think, a lot of adults. You
Mhm.
know, how could I, if I'm into this person, why am I not having sex with them? Well,
Yeah.
you can
Well,
have
well, I just want to make a point that we waited till we got married. But newsflash, we got married in a month.
yeah, 6
Yeah.
weeks.
Like, I'm not
6
waiting.
weeks. Yeah. But here's the thing though, you know, I know how guys are. Guys would sit there and go, okay, well, no, I know that. I know what this is about. Then you start waning opposed to putting more effort to it. It's
Yes.
saying, okay, let me learn about this person a little bit more. Let me figure out this and that before, because once you have the sex, the intercourse, there's this difference between sex and intercourse. Let me just
Yeah.
make sure that everybody
Really?
understands that.
What is?
You
Could
can
you describe that?
well, you can have petting and fun and all that, but you know, the intercourse is a very magical thing between two beings. You're literally sharing an essence that is so far deeper than what they're teaching us. If you really
Yeah.
go and study in depth about this, you realize what I'm saying is absolute truth. And when you go into that scenario, finding true love, you need to be very due diligent of discipline of yourself so you don't blow what could be something great because you
Yep.
prematurely try to satisfy your animal needs.
Yeah. Or you think that's what the other person wants, and then you both are kind of.
And that's where you have to be strong in who you are. Sure, they may want it because, guys are guys. But I think
That's
the
right.
right guy is going to honor the sacredness that you hold in your temple, and that you feel it's very special to share the union, of two people, having intercourse as a very special connection.
Yeah.
The right person will honor that, whether they have an urge or not. They'll honor it. If they don't, well, later. And again, you just had a natural screening because that's all they were looking for.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And like I said, it's about your intention. What do you
Yep.
really want? If you really want to find the true love, someone
Yeah.
that you're going to grow old with and build a life and have, a true best friend,
Yeah.
then that intention needs to be very clear and it needs to be nurtured, not the same old song and dance of, oh, I gave in to my emotion, oh, I gave in
Yeah.
into my desires, and all of a sudden we're arguing already. Why? Because you don't know the person,
Yeah.
So
Well, and another
that's
thing too is you talked about a little bit in the book about safety. Make them make an effort. Don't go on a date like, hey, do you just want to come over to my house and watch a movie? No, I want you to take me out. I will meet you there. I will be safe. You don't need to know where I work, what all this stuff, where I live. Be safe. Meet them out in public. You are worth being taken out. You are worth being shown off and being in public. If you want me, like I made that mistake. I went over, the guy's like, hey, let's just make dinner here. And you know what? We never left the house. I called myself his Wednesday night girlfriend because I only was at his house on Wednesday nights. We had dinner and we hung out, and like sometimes I spend the night, but he was always busy on the weekends and with his family. I'm like, I get it. You probably have a real girlfriend that you take out during the week or on the weekends, and your family knows, or you might have a girlfriend back home because he had just moved here. But I'm his Wednesday night girlfriend because I didn't make him take me out because I was being too like, okay, I don't want to be a burden. You're not a burden. Make them make an effort. You are worth it. You are worth being shown off. You are worth being out in public, and you are worth making an effort. And that way too, you're not putting yourself in a situation where you think maybe like, I just got to sleep with him. I'm here. Or that's the expectation. Or, just be out in public, do fun things. Stop being lazy and stop letting the other person be lazy. Go out and have fun. And
absolutely
dinner or
and
out.
you know what? And that's okay. Like you said, it takes a lot. If it takes you 10 times longer, it is so well worth it because again, are you looking for just a bunch of those, or are you looking to have a valuable relationship? And on an adjunct to that, Lauren, I want to talk about, going Dutch at the same, let's say they do take you out. Don't pay half.
Yeah.
Okay. Don't pay half. I don't care what oh yeah, well, maybe after you're dating and, oh, he's in between paychecks or this and that, it's okay to, okay, I'm going to pick up this dinner or whatever. But when you're first getting to know someone and date someone, I'm sorry, the guy should be paying for the meal.
Yeah.
Period.
They want to feel so masculine, pay for the meal.
Yeah, no Dutch crap.
Yeah. And we're in Texas. This is the South. That's Southern gentlemen. And you and I are both from Los Angeles originally. Right. So it's like, be a man. You want to show your power and your masculinity and prove yourself to be a good man. Take care of it.
Yep. Open my door. Act like a gentleman. Absolutely.
Yeah. I'm not
Jeff,
15,
any
20.
comments on that?
I agree 100%.
Yeah.
100%,
Yeah.
And the key factor is don't be desperate.
Yeah.
Keep that in mind. Even though let's say you've been out of a relationship for several years, or you haven't had a true relationship in a while, and all of a sudden you get the affection, you get the human touch. That is such a bait, if you will, because it's so addictive once you start that. But you got to recognize, pull back. Who are you with? Who are you now?
Yeah.
And understand those dynamics well, and just be patient.
Yeah, be patient. And while you're being patient, work on your self-esteem. Read everything you can get your hands on. Really, value who you are, because you are a unique, one-of-a-kind God particle. Each and every one of you out there watching or listening, there is no one like you. And whoever is fortunate enough to connect with you is going to be so lucky. They're going to be so lucky. And you need to know that and own that, not in an arrogant sense, like, yeah, you'd be lucky to be seen with me, dude, or dudette, but that you really come from a place of, my cup is full. My heart is full. I'm looking to expand and connect and share who I am with someone of like essence, and as you mentioned about me and Jeff, Lauren, you, whether it's in the profile and or when you're connecting, if you're vibrating on the same level, you're going to make that connection. And if you're not vibrating on the same level, again, I'm sorry, next please, we weren't a good fit. We just weren't a good fit. And that's okay, because there's someone out there for everyone. Barbara, I think it was Barbara DeAngelis, old ancient, I think she's still around, but talk show host back about relationships in California. And one thing that really stuck me, she used to say, she'd have callers coming in, about relationship issues. And she would say, you know what, she'd have someone saying, well, maybe I should do this and, kind of compromise here, or I like them, I'm just not like in love with them, but, blah, 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 or her. And her comeback was more than once was, you need to let it go, because every individual, male or female, deserves to have their mate 100% head over heels, gaga about them.
Yep.
It's hard enough to maintain relationships. I mean, statistics tell us that divorces end 50% of marriages end in divorce. I mean, the statistics are alarming, and I don't know if they're even higher today. But so why would you start off with, just kind of, well, I'm not 100%, but I guess I can work into it, because of this reason and that reason, which is always the wrong reasons. Well, he's rich. Oh, well, she's beautiful. All these surface 3D things. When you could have someone who is 100%, into you, and they are, you're 100% into them. That's a winning start. That's a winning start for sure.
Yep.
So Lauren, I'm not going to go through all the chapters, even though it's a short book. There's quite a few chapters talking about distance, because we were, a little bit of a long distance. The art of the virtual conversation, deception and rules. And I want to go back to that, because I know you've had, in this decade, some deception. So I want to ask you some questions on that. But besides the profile chapter, Lauren, what would you say was the second most significant or impactful chapter that you read in the book?
I would just say just the power of vulnerability and just not being afraid to show my true self. And like I said earlier, really sitting down and doing work on your own self, and not being afraid to tell them what you're expecting and what you want from them. I think that's just most important, and don't be afraid anymore. I right now, I want to get back online dating, but with the last situationship, I guess you can call it, and just things happening with friendships, I just think it's a little scary for me because I don't want to get hurt again. But I think as long as I do my work on myself, like even doing work in this book and just really focusing back into my heart and myself and what my wants and needs are, and doing the work, like this book tells you to do the work. Don't just half it, go and do your work, and then really just let it Jesus take the wheel, just
Absolutely.
let it happen. Don't be afraid,
do your best and God will do the rest. And
exactly,
by doing the work, Lauren, and I'm so proud of you. I'm just so impressed with you, which is why I wanted to have you on the show, because you really have taken to heart, and I know it's going to make a difference, is by doing the work, it's going to give you a level of confidence,
yes,
not arrogance, but confidence in knowing this is Lauren. This is Lauren Huntley. This is what I stand for. This is what's important to me.
yes,
This is what my expectations are in a relationship. You don't have to ever share, my non-negotiables. That will filter itself out. But these are the things that are primary in a relationship. And I think if you have the confidence to lay that down pretty early on,
yes,
and of course in the profile, that's going to be your first filter. You're going to weed out, the crap, and you're going to start to attract, the smaller pool of opportunities. But that's okay. It's like I tell people in real estate, hey, all you need is one buyer. That's all. One buyer.
Yeah.
The right buyer.
Well, it's like when I have you in my chair, the confidence that I exude and I'm in my salon doing what I love and what I'm confident in, taking that power, whatever is going on in my heart, in my mind, I call it my safe place. I feel confident with you. I feel you've been with me a couple of years now. You've seen my personality, and just trying to hone in on that and bring it out into real life, and having that same confidence, whatever I'm getting it from in my salon, having it in my own life, in my personal life too. And trying to really sit and think, what am I missing, and why am I not having that confidence out of my salon, because I'm this awesome person in the salon and it's confident.
So let's explore that. If we have time, if you have the time, let's explore that a little bit. So if you were to assess what gave you the confidence to have the confidence, and by the way, for those who don't know, we're going to be sharing her information. She is an amazing stylist, has a super impressive background back in New York, and a stylist in magazines and so on and so forth. And she is very competent and super creative in what she does, which is why I'm with it, because I'm super particular. And so if you were to maybe kind of step back and think, name three things you think that has enabled you to have that confidence as a stylist.
I think one of the biggest things is educating myself, continuing to educate myself, and having past education when I first started out in the industry has definitely helped me in the salon and with my confidence. Also, just surrounding myself with positivity in my workplace, surrounding myself with good clients. I mean, I have amazing clients. They're like family to me. And I think, like you said, weeding out the bad, if we don't click, they tend to not come back, which I really don't think I've had a lot of those. So I think that's another thing is just the personalities in the relationships. And, you know, I think I can't really say 3 off the top of my head, but I would say.
I'll give you the third one. I think you might have touched on it, but it's experience.
Yes.
Okay. So you've got the education, you've got the positive reinforcement because your vibe is attracting your tribe. You don't know the ones that didn't come back, but that's good. They didn't come back because they didn't vibe with you. And then your confidence was cemented by repetition or experience.
Correct. Yes.
So, you know, that's going to work no different as you groom yourself towards the best, you know, version of your profile and who you want to be, and working on your confidence as, you know, as Lauren outside, you know, not the chair, but outside the salon.
Yeah.
And reinforcing of, you know, all of your positive qualities and what you bring to the table.
Yeah.
And what you're willing to give and what you expect in return, and all those things. And then it just becomes repetition.
Yes.
You know, it's going to give you the experience. So once you kind of honed in on that, and even if you hadn't met the right match yet, coming from that space of confidence of who you are as an individual and what you want in a relationship, I think that's going to lay down the foundation for that confidence, and you'll be on your way.
Because I'm just as cool outside of the salon as I am in the salon. I just need to show it.
There you go. There you go. So in another conversation, we might discover what's blocking that.
Yes. Yes, I know you're talking about.
I'm giving you a hint on what my next venture may be, but I have confidence in you, Lauren, because, you know, I see your spirit, I see your soul, I see your heart, I see your creativity. And, you know, as you put out there that, you know, others deserve to have someone of like mind, of like dedication, of, you know, all of those in your relationship. You deserve that. And you need to know it and believe it.
Yep. We all do. I think we all do. And, you know, in the age of online dating, sometimes it still is seen as a negative thing because unfortunately people use it to do bad things. And you just got to be smart and weed it out, and just don't be afraid. Just put yourself out there. You got to
be smart and be safe. Exactly. Yes. And, you know, read the book, but it talks about, you know, Lauren, you've just brought up a huge thing. People, don't invite guys, don't invite girls, don't invite anybody to your house, your residence, for God's sake. You know, get to know them in a public place. My suggestion is always start with a coffee date. Like I said, when I was doing my research for the book, you know, that's, you know, I had a lot of frogs to get through to get the research for my book. So it was coffee date. I think there was maybe one lunch, but most of them were coffee dates. You will know if there is an attraction, and I'm sure you can relate to this, Lauren. You will know it pretty quickly. Now, back before there was really, you know, the video part of it, which is when we met, we had to wait till we met to actually see in the flesh, was there a connection? But, you know, so I think I mentioned this in the book, you know, pretty quickly get off the digital and go to a video, you know, FaceTime, what have you. Yeah, that's not 100% the same as being in the flesh, you know, feeling that the nuances of that, but it's pretty close. And you will know pretty quick if there's an attraction, because you can have all the right things on paper. And this is what's beautiful about online dating is you can get rid of those mundane things. Like, I don't want a smoker. I don't want to, has to be, casual drinker, whatever your, must be a Buddhist, whatever your must, you can get rid of those quickly. Now, will some people lie? Yes, we know they will. It's a numbers game. But for the most part, I believe people are, honest on those things. But then there's that thing you can't put down on paper, and that's called chemistry.
Yeah.
And you will know in a coffee date. That's why I don't recommend lunch.
Yeah.
Because coffee can be quick.
Oh,
because I could know before the coffee is done, whether there's a physical connection, you know, because you really can't put that on paper. You need to be physically attracted to them.
Yep.
You know, yes, sometimes you get to know them as a person and that can develop. But I think for the most part, there has to be some sort of attraction. Don't you think, Lauren?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
You want
And
that, you want those butterflies and that giddiness and that spark.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So I don't want to end on a negative note, but I did want to talk briefly, and we touched on it a little bit in terms of deception. Just people be smart, you know, as Lauren said, you know, meet in public places. As I've said, you know, make it coffee, you know, not something long. Don't give out your address or any other personal information until you know who these people are all about. Now, there's a site, and I remember sitting in your chair, Lauren, and you telling me about this Facebook site, which I haven't gone on. It's Are We Dating the Same Guy?
Yes, 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 yes. Yep, that's how I found out that the guy I was spending time with, we weren't serious, but we were spending time with each other. And I asked him honestly, like just for my own physical safety, you know, are you with anyone else? And, you know, I found out real quick that I was alive.
So, and to be clear, you know, sometimes, and you may be one of them, people are just looking to date, you know, if you have not articulated exclusivity,
Correct.
then they have every right to be dating other people. So
Correct.
you got to be really clear. You've got to communicate it. You know, I used to say when I used to sell real estate to more than friends and family, and I'm doing a listing appointment, I'd say, I believe in the big C, and that is communication. And I don't think you can over communicate. And I think that's in life, but particularly, you know, in this most important aspect of your life, seeking a relationship, you know, communication, don't assume anything. We know what that stands for, right?
Yep.
Assume.
Yeah, ask out of you and me.
Ask out of you and me. You don't want to do that. And then, because if you never asked and then you go on this site and he's dating someone else or she's dating someone else, well, you just made an ass of both of you because nobody put the expectation out there.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And it comes back to circle one. Sit down, reflect, know what's important to you, because there might be people listening or watching right now who, hey, I'm cool. You know, I just want to have fun. They can date other people. I can date other people. You're not going to care about going on, are we dating the same girl or guy? You know, that's not something that's important to you. You know, we are all unique, you know, individuals with unique desires and wants. We're the same in so many ways. You know, when it comes down to it, we all want to love and be loved, but not everybody might be ready for that, you know. But this forum is phenomenal. I thought it was phenomenal back, you know, in the day 25 years ago. And it was because, you know, my phenomenon was this gentleman right here.
Yeah.
My Miracle Online. And
you yourself could find a Jeff.
What's that?
I said you yourself out there could find a Jeff one day.
That's right. You could. You absolutely could find the perfect match for you, because God wants you to have love as much as you want to have love. And you need to know it and own it and believe it. Do your homework, do your best, do your stuff. And God's going to do the rest. Promise you, every time. And before we close out, pick up my book. You'll be glad you did. Buy it for a friend. Buy it for a friend as a gift. They'll thank you for it. You can find it on Amazon.com, right? I guess we didn't do the link, but you know, Amazon.com under books, you can find it. And
in my salon, ladies. I have this in my salon.
Yes,
in Lauren's
salon. So if you are in the Houston Spring area, Lauren, what's the name of your salon? Park?
It's Uptown Salons Creekside, and I'm upstairs in Laura Michelle's studio, and I do have a nice set of these books for everybody, and we can talk all about it.
And I'm going to tell you, if you need some amazing hair, and all kinds. She's a color specialist and does amazing things with what I call magic hair.
Yes.
She was actually the first one to really do some correcting, as I was going through the painful growing out my silver, and was really the first one to come up with a solution. And I'm super excited and dedicated to Lauren. She's a creative genius in the hair department. So what's the phone number if someone wants to reach out and give you a call? What would be a good number?
They can call me. It's an out-of-state number, but 707-529-4748. Or I do have Laura Michelle, LOR Michelle _studio stylist at Instagram. Sorry.
Okay, give me your number again because I'm putting it in the chat. 707-529
4748.
4748. That's for Lauren. Oops, how come it won't?
And I'm a workaholic, so I'm always there.
Yes, and she's a workaholic. She, as I told her, she really can't stand more business because I have a hard time getting in to see her.
She's like, so don't call her for a couple months.
Yeah, don't call her for a couple of months. Before the show, I told her, so what she needs to do is raise her prices.
Yeah.
I said, but with the exception of to me. A little sidebar.
And I'm really excited. I know you're due to see me any day now, but I'm just so blessed to have you as a client, and I love your energy, and we love your style at my girls. Like her style, we love her style and her shoes. And
my shoes. I love my shoes.
Exactly. I'm just really excited to hear about your next endeavor soon, and I really appreciate you guys having me on here today. I can talk to you for hours.
Oh, what a blessing! And you know what? We will have you back. I know we'll have you back because, as I mentioned, I'm going to get you involved before my final certification to throw some gratis on you. And yeah, I'm super excited. Jeff, did you have any final words, sweetheart?
No, not really. At this point, I think if you're ready for love, that's the key. You have to ask that question. Are you ready for love?
And if you're not, and if you're just lonely, get a cat.
I love it. On that note, guys, thank you so much for listening, for tuning in. Please share this with anyone who has a need to know. If you're single, widowed, divorced, you're doing online dating, but not getting the success that you want. Again, love wants you as much as you want love. And I encourage you to go out there, not just this weekend, but let's close out 2024 by living in the rhythm of possibilities. Love you all. Talk to you later. Bye.
Bye.